Hey guys, let's talk about last night's episode of The Good Wife and another good episode. Once again, it's a battle between LG, Lockhart Gardner, and Floric Agos. And I like the way that this court case panned out, and it was sort of again, it's like a great tennis match going on between the two firms. And I really enjoyed that Will came in and he was going up against Alicia and Carrie, and then he brought in this new guy who is a mob lawyer, and his name is Damian Boyle. And in the last couple of episodes, Will has been, hanging out with some girl who I can't stand, and now he's decided to, on a whim, without really consulting with his partners, a new hire, and that is this Damian Boyle guy. And he's a bit off the cuff, he's a bit weird, he's a bit wacky, and he's a mob lawyer. And Diane's not very happy about it, and she wants Kalinda to really vet him because Will just didn't do it. And I think Will's sort of going off on his own little tangent right now where he's like, well, just because they might not be right for us, that doesn't mean that they're not right for us. And, like I said, Will is going into every case like it's like he's in the gladiator ring and he just wants a serious knockout. He wants to behead the opponent and that's it. So I think he's just looking at getting whatever lawyers will be able to do that on his team. And one of the things that he says is, will your clients bring in money, and or are they rich? And it's like, yeah, like that's really all he cares. Like he wants to make money. He wants to, like we said, now that he wants to make it a brand called LG instead of Lockhart Gardner because they want to open up another firm in New York, you can see where his mind is at. And it's all about the business. It's all about the knockout punch. So, it's interesting watching the dynamics happen between Lockhart Gardner and Floric and Agos. And again, like Floric Agos, their offices are still in shambles. They did have desks and they had chairs they had, but this Damien guy just kind of came in and stole all their furniture, which was really weird. And they never really explained why he was able to just go into their place and take their furniture. It was really weird and random. I'm not really sure what it served, just that he's annoying and he stole Alicia's number one mom pin. And it was just like, come on, dude. Like, I don't know what your end game is here, but in the overall story of it all, I have a feeling that he's going to bring a lot of drama to LG. And as Kalinda is vetting him, she has a couple of good scenes with him. And Kalinda is somebody like a character who they've been really underutilizing this season. So it'll be interesting to see if they end up pairing the two of them up and where they go from there, because we know that Kalinda is pretty much bisexual, and as of late she's been with a woman, so I don't know if they're going to have her hang out with this Damien dude now for the rest of the season. So the B storyline was, of course, the case that Will and Alicia were working on, which was a pretty much ripped from the headlines. It was this guy named Zaid Shahid, and he was being framed for kind of like the Boston Marathon bomber. And it was all about this website that was pretty much accusing him of this crime, and they were just trying to block this website from being able to post all these defamatory comments. And so it was kind of like a story ripped from the headlines. But like I keep saying, it's not so much about the case of the week that we've been seeing in these last few episodes. It's more about the dynamic that's happening between the two law firms. And I will say that this week it went to Floric Agos, because at the end of it, Will and Diane had to come to their firm and pretty much settle. And I believe that they were going to end up settling for like $1.5 million. So that's a win for Floric Agos. And I agreed with the judge when he said, don't be bragging just because this is a victory for you. Like, take your victories in small dosages here, Miss Floric, because they're not going to come few and far between, or they're going to come few and far between, I should say. And then we had some stuff going on with Jackie, Eli, and this new character, and her name was Rachel. And she was the newest nominee for Supreme Court Justice. She was going to be the next person, I guess, to possibly replace Diane. And once Jackie found out who she was less than thrilled, because apparently back in the day, she used to work for Jackie's husband, who was a judge, and they had an affair for 2 or 3 years. And Jackie knew all about it, and she was pretty much threatening Eli to get her off, like ditch her. And Eli was like, sorry, we're not going to do that. Peter already got rid of Diane, and how's it going to look if he all of a sudden gets rid of this next female nominee? And of course, Jackie, who doesn't, keep quiet about anything, she goes to Rachel and she says, listen, if you don't back out, I'm going to go to your husband, I'm going to blow up your spot, and I'm going to tell him the truth that you were having an affair with my husband back in the day. And she claims that her husband knows and that they're all good. And her husband's sick and he's in the hospital. And Jackie fully goes to the hospital and is pretty much calling her bluff. And what happens? Rachel backs out. So we'll see where this goes and what this ends up doing to Peter and his, right now they still need to find a Supreme Court judge who's going to be suitable, and that's not Diane. So all in all, it was a good episode. Lots going on, lots of little characters. Sometimes they bring in too many storylines on the show, and you're just kind of hoping that they will settle on one thing. But it was still entertaining, and loving that dynamic going back and forth again between those two firms. And I like, we're seeing a whole new Alicia, and I like that. And we'll see what happens going forwards. All right, guys, that's been my review for The Good Wife. I'll see you next week. Bye.